Dawson. Thanks so much for joining us here on City Lights on Novus TV. If you've been wondering what the heck that big white tent is doing in False Creek Village, you're not alone. And today, we're taking you inside that big white tent to give you a sneak peek of a show that is bound to blow your mind. 67 beautiful horses, 48 artisan riders, a carousel that literally descends from the ceiling, and a 3-story man-made mountain, all inside the world's largest big top. This is Cavalia Odysseo. Let's get inside. So James, this show is absolutely massive. What goes into making it all possible?
Tons and tons and tons of equipment and dirt, and the amount of stuff that we travel with is unbelievable. We travel with 110 semi-trailers, and we travel around the world with that. So wherever the show goes, all of our equipment follows us. Also here in BC, we've spent about a week looking for very specific sands and dirts and gravel to help build our stage. And there's about 10,000 tons of material that's been trucked onto the site. The sands are a very specific blend for us because we need the perfect footing for the horses. And we spent about a week now mixing those sands with fiber and different types of plastic to help it all bind together, because we need sand that's good dry and also that works in a lake, because at the end of the show we flood the stage with 80,000 gallons of water and we send the horses out to play in water for the last 15 minutes.
Now, speaking of that sand, we actually got to climb up onto the mountain. I'm assuming that took a little bit more than a shovel and some handwork there.
Well, there is a huge amount of shoveling and handwork because it all has to be finished to a perfect grade and slope. That we sort of decided that, okay, the horses, this is good for them. But there's a lot of heavy equipment that brings all that material into the big top and helps shape it. And you saw some of that today. And it's been about 5 days now. We've been doing dirt from 7:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night.
Now, what about all of the technical aspects overhead when the audience looks above them? Tell us about that.
So over top of the stage in the audience, there's 80 tons of technical equipment. So that includes scenery, that includes curtains, lighting, video projectors, and of course our carousel. And the carousel is a merry-go-round that descends from our mother grid and lands on the stage. And it's a number that we've created. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Yes, merry-go-rounds exist, but the way we use the merry-go-round with our rotating poles and our fixed Chinese poles to make our carousel number is totally unique to Cavalia Odysseo.
So tell me, how long have you been a part of the show?
So I joined Cavalia 4.5 years ago on the first creation, and I joined Odysseo about a little bit more than 1.5 years now.
Wow, so what is your favorite part of the show?
It's pretty hard to tell because it's so different, because I'm doing the dressage, which is like basically, for people who doesn't know horses, I'm making the horses dance in the water, and so I'm riding the horse. So it's a relationship by riding him, and the liberty I have like horses going all free around me, and so the relationship is completely different. So it's really hard to say which one I prefer.
You know, that's no small feat, though. I've heard you are the only person who is doing 2 solos.
In the show? In this one, yes.
Cavalia's and Odysseo is clearly such a beautiful show. Can you take us into your vision behind it?
You know, we started Cavalia, we presented it here 3 years ago, and we started it about 10 years ago, 11 years. Actually, this is Pompon, just to start with this. He's the first horse that ever stepped Cavalia stage. That have been said, people who saw Cavalia, who've seen Cavalia, they know it was a totally different approach in terms of performing arts and equestrian arts. When they're going to see Odysseo, it's another world. It's the same thing. They will have the same shock and reaction because it's such a, it's something you can't, hard to describe and can't see anywhere else. It's a real mix of high technology, equestrian arts and performing arts. And we also have pushed the limit of acrobatic. So we are doing some acrobatic stuff in this show that you cannot see. And for that, we have built a very sophisticated theater that can offer the same quality of show that you will go and see in Las Vegas, for instance. So the theater is the tent, the big top. When you're sitting there, you don't feel you're in a tent. You feel you're in a real amphitheater where you get to see an odyssey, where horse and men are traveling throughout the most beautiful landscape in the world.
Wow. Now, where did your passion for all of this begin?
All I know is show. I've done my first show. I was 13 years old. I've done my first tour. I came here driving a school bus. I was 17 years old, actually. That's a long time ago. And then I brought Cirque du Soleil in 1986 here in Vancouver. And then I brought Cavalia in 2011.
He's on the move.
Yeah, right. He's getting his hay. That's why. So you know, it's just what I know, and I like to push the limit, and that's what exists. I like to surprise the audience.
Cavalia Odysseo runs from December 7th to January 5th. So to get your fill of all of these guys, just go to cavalia.net or head to get tickets from the box office at False Creek Village. For City Lights on Novus TV, I'm Alyssa Dawson.